Restart
There she
the
is.
intro.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Hi everybody, this is Same Shit Different Day, a podcast by Marching into Madness. I'm Bailey. This is
Raza Malik.
And we've got our wonderful resident wine mom here to help us out. Say hi.
Technical issues, I'm here though.
We're having a great start, boys and girls.
Yeah, but that's two hiccups now. So this week, it's happening just after Mother's Day. Raza, we were about to do this whole thing about Mother's Day, and then realized that me and Wine Mom don't have the same amount of stories because Raza's such a great little son. We just had to feel bad about our existence.
And then they made me feel bad about my own existence. I was like, God damn.
Either way, I guess shout out to all the mamas out there. Shout out to everyone who doesn't have a mother but has loved ones or chosen family that they have replaced as their mother. And we hope you at least got to celebrate with people you care about.
Because Mother's Day is all about not just mothers, but you know, the women in your life that are awesome.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, if you want to go 2020, it's not just women; it's all the figures who play. I wouldn't even know how to go about that. Jesus,
it's all the
pseudo.
guardians.
It's the pseudo mom.
It's the pseudo moms.
That's
yeah.
The pseudo moms. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the stay-at-home dads too. It's everybody.
Just not the wine moms, because nobody wished wine mom a happy Mother's Day.
That's so awesome. So, in place of the Mother's Day stuff, we were thinking about talking about some TikTok drama. Or no, it's not actually TikTok drama, is it? Does it count as TikTok drama? I think it does. Yeah, okay. So, since we got Wine Mom, the resident TikTok drama specialist, and me and Raza have been in the YouTube community far too long that we have a comprehensive history of the platform. So we can tie those knowledges together. And I don't know shit about Gabby Hanna. So why don't you kick us off, Wine Mom?
By the way, sorry to cut you off, but about TikTok and Wine Mom, I don't even have a TikTok account or nor do I have the app. But for some reason, thanks to Wine Mom's, her just dropping bombs on us, I know everything about the TikTok world. so I don't have it. So, anyways, sorry. Yeah, we're back on.
Okay, so do we want to talk about Gabby Hanna? I'm going to give you the little synopsis.
Yeah, give me not super comprehensive. Just give me what's the difference between her and Addison Rae?
Okay, Gabby Hanna is a longtime YouTuber, so her and Addison Rae are very different. Addison is newly popular just because of the platform, not because of anything else. But with Gabby Hanna, I wouldn't really say that she has some sort of special talent or anything. She just kind of cornered the same market as Tana Mojo, which is the story time, the very dramatic story time YouTube videos. And then she started to make horrible music, and then she started to make terrible poetry, and now she is attacking everybody that she can on the internet.
That's a good summary, actually. Thank you. That really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she attacked everybody on the... Go ahead, Raza.
Okay.
That sounds like me. I attack everybody on the internet.
Why did she have an association with most of the people that she went at online?
Well, she had so she was really popular for her drama with Rice Gum. That was his name, Rice Gum?
Yeah.
He slapped her phone out of her hand at a party because she was being really annoying in true Gabby Hanna fashion.
Okay. I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, she's also been drug up because she was a part of the Vlog Squad briefly, and David Dobrik was really mean to her, so there was a moment of sympathy for her, and then everybody remembered who she actually was and what she was like.
Yeah.
So that changed. But she came out with this song called Monster, and she's kind of the person who really thinks that she's a martyr. And she really lives this whole, like, everybody bullies me, everyone makes fun of me, you're all a bunch of high school bullies, and I hate you all are so mean to me, and everybody gangs up on me, and everybody bullies me, and my life is so hard.
Okay.
In her nice house with her money, so, you know.
She made a song with one of my favorite artists, right? Landon Tours of the Plotted You, and that one song, I skip her because she comes in the second or the third verse. I always skip her part because it's like so like she she can't sing. It's just like flat.
Well, it's like, okay, so like critiques aside, right? When it comes to like music, you know, like I take music very seriously. It's something that I enjoy very much. I care a lot about like the types of singers that I listen to and like what they produce as far as musical content. And it's like, in the nicest way possible, she strains her voice so much to create notes that she can't actually hit. And instead they just get really foggy and kind of ear piercing, and they're not enjoyable. 100%. And so that makes her so mad that people don't think she's talented, because there's someone in her life who has told her she was talented, and she's holding on to that for the rest of her life. And so everybody is wrong because, you know, that person told her that she was a talented singer.
Like so sorry.
That tends to happen a lot with like people of privilege, right? They take their one singing class, and all of a sudden their teacher who had this Juno award told them that they're promising, and then they've convinced themselves that they're a fantastic singer.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to be mean because like she's a bad singer or whatever the case may be, because that's not really the point, right? The big point of the issue with Gabby Hanna is that she clearly suffers from some sort of issue. She talks a lot about ADHD being a problem that she suffers with. I know you guys have heard me talk about I suffer with that as well. She also has some anxiety issues and whatever else that she has chosen to cite as her diagnosis, right? Mm-hmm. And what's going on right now is that she is quite clearly having a Kanye West style mental breakdown on the internet. Yeah. And right. And instead of taking a second to reevaluate what's happening and like get some help for herself, she is attacking everybody on social media. She's blaming everyone for her problems. She takes no accountability. She thinks that everyone who doesn't like her art is a bully when people are allowed to not like things. Mm-hmm. And it's just like she's doing all this weird stuff on TikTok, and she was doing some live stream or some TikTok or something while driving a vehicle, which is very concerning. And I don't even know, like, how do you help someone like that, you know?
Yeah. Like when you go on YouTube, I believe like there are other YouTubers that have the same issue as Gabby Hanna, but I guess it's who you are. But I feel like once you're on YouTube and you have these issues, the platform sort of amplifies those issues, or they to the point where now people either can feel sorry for you or they attack you and they don't understand, right? So like I think Gabby Hanna inherently has some issues, but her going on YouTube and talking about this is not the healthy ways, because we're not we aren't equipped to deal with somebody dealing with this type of issue, which I'm
no.
Well, like the reference to that for me, like you say, Kanye West style, it's like a FouseyTube style breakdown, you know, like that. That's
like literally not. Just...
I fucking hate that guy.
Like that's the prime example though, of like he was clearly manic, like he was clearly going through a manic episode, and the internet is not the place to like get help.
Have
for
those
that.
Episodes.
It's just gonna perpetuate it because the memes.
Like FouseyTube is a special case because I think he saw this. He saw people.
He was capitalizing.
He was capitalizing. That's what I was gonna say.
He was like, "Oh, Kanye did it. I did it. I'm FouseyTube. I'm now Kanye West level iconic." That's what he did.
And now he had a, because then like he was capitalizing on it. It affected him so badly he left YouTube. But then now he's back dealing. He's hanging out with those TikTokers and those.
Yeah, let's never give that guy a platform here.
Yeah, bro. Even Sam Pepper made a comeback though. You know what I mean? Like they always fucking hide in the new platforms because the kids don't know them. Is like literally.
Well, we already know who else is trying to do that right now.
Yes, and I posted that on.
Yeah, let's not give him any space yet.
I'm down with that.
We'll talk about him soon.
That's a comprehensive. If you want to help us write a script, that's a script in the fucking box right there.
Oh yeah.
And it's connected to James Charles too.
Yeah.
So then, let's hop there. So what happened with James Charles?
Jesus Christ, Bailey, producer.
Oh, okay, so before we move to James Charles, because I feel like it's still a little bit old news, kind of new news, because I've been seeing people talk about it more recently again. But with Gabby, like, you know, like I don't want to hate her because I understand she's going through something right now, but I just want to say, like, we've all watched Kanye West spiral, and we've all watched other YouTubers, like, not to compare her to Kanye because she's not at that level, but like we've seen, you know, celebrities, micro celebrities, influencers, micro influencers. We've seen all these people on social media like spiraling out of control. And it's like, why are entire teams still allowing people to act this way? You know, like, I know she has some sort of like, what are they called? A manager. I know she has someone who's watching what she's doing, and like, stop her before this becomes a Dr. Phil YouTube video, because that's where we're going.
I think her manager like doesn't like
care.
I could be care, because like she's saying, every time Gabby Hanna has a mental breakdown on YouTube, that video of her going nuts is getting like thousands of views, right?
Yeah.
And in her head and in Gabby's head and the publicist or the whoever her manager said, they just see dollar signs. They see like, it's like, I'm making money. I can like YouTube and and I've noticed this, the environment that YouTube has kind of set, they are enabling this to happen. They're
100%.
They are allowing you to have these sort of like attacks or these like breakdowns or these issues, because A, it brings more people to their platform, and B, it makes the person doing it richer, right? So, and then it gets to the next issue, right? These illnesses less serious, less severe, because they see someone like Gabby Hanna.
I think that's where things are starting to go now. It's starting to become that issue, because you know, like Gabby Hanna may present a certain way, but she is by no means stupid. She knows what she's doing, how she's doing it, and why she's doing it. To whatever makes her feel better about herself. You know, like, she has really struggled on the platform for a multitude of reasons. And so she's looking for some way to garner some form of success or attention. And she's using a lot of language that is just very dirty. And I think when YouTubers start to say, I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna come after you, I'm gonna start a war, I'm gonna send my fans after you, like, you kind of you've lost all your credibility now. And to me, like, you're no longer somebody that I care. Like, I don't care anymore. I don't find you threatening. I don't find you funny. I don't find you cute. I don't find you talented. I just find you like really confused about yourself. That your reaction is to start suing people or trying to do that whole route. But I just think it's like, she needs to take a second and like reevaluate and really think about where she's going with this and like what she's trying to do, and start doing something productive.
But when somebody's head is so far up their ass, when they have been like enabled.
Exactly. And then also to your point about the making disease less severe, it's like, anxiety and depression are things that people suffer with on a regular basis. And it's like, you know, I struggle with that a lot. You know, I struggle with ADHD and stuff like that as well. And to see somebody on, you know, a social media platform using that as like a crutch and saying like, well, I'm neurodivergent, or I'm this, or I'm that, or I have anxiety and I have depression. It's like, yeah, I get it. But like, that's not something that you sit up and go, hey everybody, I'm doing this because I'm depressed. Like, stop passing your shitty behavior for, you know?
Yeah. Like, one of my, like, I don't really speak to him anymore, but, like, he kind of downplayed my anxiety and panic attacks because a YouTuber he sees talks about it a lot, and he gets it to the point where he gets so much that it's unbelievable. And he turns around to me, he's just like, yeah, I don't, like, the brain is a powerful thing. You can just tell yourself not to have a panic attack. I don't understand why he's having a panic attack so much. And I'm thinking, I can't speak for him, but to me, like, it's real. I have been through I have panic attacks. I've had them. It's very real. The brain is a powerful thing. I understand that, and it can put you in these spots. Without even realizing.
Well, and she's trying really hard to mask by being like, oh, she's trying to mask it with like, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, and because I'm a strong individual, you guys all have a problem with me. So really, if you look at it, the problem is you, because I'm just living my life and I'm vibing and doing what I need to do to be successful, and you all are being a bunch of babies about it. Like that's really what she's trying to peddle right now, and it's like, you're wrong. Yeah. Right, but it's not that. It's we're all laughing at you, and and the ones that aren't laughing at you are genuinely concerned because you're having an extreme manic episode, and it's lasting longer than a couple days. It's been about a month, and you're all over social media.
And Gabby Hanna's base are like the same as like Jake Paul's base, kind of. They're like kids essentially, and they're like seeing this, and they're now thinking, oh, these panic attacks, they're normal. I can have panic attacks, right?
Right.
Like panic attacks, I'm saying everybody, like it happens to everybody, but it shouldn't be normalized. Like you shouldn't have them, right? But like she's making it so like this is a normal part of society. Like it's okay to have panic attacks when like it's like for a person who had them, it's not okay to have them. Like it hurts. It's a fucking nightmare. Like
and not only
stop breathing.
Right, and not only that, but I feel like she's making fun of manic episodes.
100%.
Because she's like, because she's like, I'm having a manic episode. Because she has like, she's aware enough to go, oh, you don't understand what it's like to be manic or have a manic episode, or like what it's like to deal with ADHD and all these things. It's like, I know what a manic episode is like. I have teared my entire apartment apart, room from room, during a manic episode because I'm stressed out about something. I totally understand what a manic episode is. But mania is not dancing to TikTok trends in your underwear and hoping that you're going to go viral for being, ludicrous. That's not what a manic episode is, and stop masking it as that, because you're insulting people is what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I didn't want to I'm not correcting Raza by any means, but it's like to be more gentle is like, it's not necessarily that it's like she's making it okay, quote unquote, because it should be okay. It should be destigmatized. It's that she's making it a piece of entertainment,
Correct. I think that's what Raza's trying to say, because it's not funny. It's not cute. It's not pop culture to be manic. I never understand people who are like, oh, I'm depressed, it's so trendy. Like, get over yourself. That's not what it is. Okay, it's something very painful.
What I'm saying, it shouldn't be like you shouldn't be expected to have these problems.
Correct.
That's what I mean by normalization of it.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be stigmatized. That's a thing that 100% people need to talk about these things, and you shouldn't feel.
Well, and I think when you have such a young audience, you're teaching these young people watching you that they can self-diagnose and project something to people. Not whether she's self-diagnosing or not, I don't know, but the fact that you're doing this, you're because nobody sees your medical records, and by all means don't show your medical records. Nobody needs to see those. That's personal and that's your information. But the point is that kids are not stupid, and they start to learn from your behavior, and then instead of it being something that's destigmatized or something that's talked about and addressed on a proper platform, it's become like a sideshow. It's the same thing with that lovely Peaches girl. I don't know if you've heard about her. She's extremely mentally ill, and she's done a lot of things that you guys don't even want to get into, but it's that's where it's not funny, it's not good.
Yeah, well, it's a big conversation to wrap your head around, right? Is how much responsibility do these fucking kids have, right? is it, are they just making content to put out into the ether, or do we have to somehow make them responsible for the people they're influencing, which is like...
Well, this is, and that's the biggest thing, right? Because when people come out, like, because I've heard, like, we'll use Ariana Grande for an example, right? She made a lot of, like, she was on a kids TV show, so she was a Disney kid, and she made a lot of, like, child-centric stuff, and then when she started to date Mac, and she started to grow up a little bit, her content started to become a little bit more sexual, and she started to kind of become more of a woman, and everyone was like, oh, you have a child audience, like, you shouldn't be doing that. But it's like, is it really Ariana's responsibility to police the people who are intaking her content? Absolutely not. But when you're a YouTuber and you're on a children's platform, that's the thing. It's like, YouTube is one thing because it's YouTube's responsibility to make sure that things are age restricted or, shown to the right groups of people, right? But TikTok is an app for 13 and up. Yeah. So you know that the people watching your content could be 13 years old. And that's a big thing with TikTok that I have a problem with, which is a whole nother topic to get into. But it's like, you know what you're doing when you're putting this content on this platform. Yeah. You are well aware of the people that you are showing these things to.
And that's why I find TikTok super creepy, like, in general, to get into. Like, if you're on it, but, like, I feel like TikTok, like, it sort of, like, allows, like, certain habits to like, prosper and stuff.
Well, and it sucks because there are, like, older and younger people on the platform that produce great content that is funny or entertaining. And it's like, there's a lot of young creators on that app that sometimes I watch their stuff and, like, I'm an adult woman, like, and it's like, I want to enjoy the funny content, but it's like, sometimes it just feels not great when you're seeing, like, the adult content on there. There's so many people that are introducing, like the kink culture on TikTok is unbelievable. Yeah. It's like you know who's watching these videos. Like, it's not funny, okay? It's not like take it back to Tumblr where it belongs, okay? And leave it there. Thank you.
Yeah, is social media a free market? Like, because who are you gonna come down at, the Chinese owners of TikTok, to start giving a fuck about the kids? Like, they ain't give a fuck. The Chinese government just wants more money.
Well, I think as a platform creator, like, if you guys were to start to create a platform, I would hold you guys responsible for making sure, like, as your friend, as somebody who's your friend, I would be like, guys, if you're making a platform, like, you better make sure that it's not for anyone under a certain age. Yeah. Because you have to be responsible for it. If they cheat the system and they get in there, that's the parents' fault, right? There's nothing you could do about that.
I agree, but we're moral humans, and that's why we don't have any money.
Well, you don't have any money. Speak for yourself.
Well,
but it's the point, right? And then it's the same. So to carry forward, right? Because we mentioned James Charles once again. Everybody's talking about him because he's made another statement, and it wasn't that recent. I think it was a decent amount of time ago, excuse me. But my regular YouTube commenters hadn't started talking about it yet till recently. But basically he said, like, because this is the issue, right, with social media, is people start making fake stories. Because they want to get in on the hype, they want to get attention, they want to get follows and likes. And so in turn, instead of James Charles being accurately held accountable for his actions and actually facing some sort of, I guess, quote-unquote punishment, because we know the law is not doing anything about it, now he's able to sit on his ivory throne and start suing people.
Oh, shit,
for false stuff, because he said in his statement that he's going to start suing people with their false allegations. So what that does essentially is take, let's say, a regular Joe Schmo who knows nothing about the internet, nothing about this James Charles guy, and they hear, oh, so James Charles admitted to all these things, but also there's, like, all these fake stories. So we don't know if he admitted to it because he actually needed to admit to something, or if he did it to try and save PR because all these fake stories are coming out.
Yeah.
But a guy who uses an app for 13-year-olds as a dating app, I think it's pretty clear what his intentions are, so...
It's also hella weird that he, like, would be messaging these guys and would, like, these kids, I should say, not guys, these children, and they would be like, Wine Mom showed me one of the kids he was messaging. First thing I could see, like, yeah, he's 13 years old. Like
in the bio, it says it right away.
I didn't even read the bio. You can tell like how old you by how they look, right? He looked hella young. So I'm thinking, if I can see that, how come James Charles can't? I can't, but I can't be in his head.
But it's like, because we've talked about this before when we talked about him, it's like the very clear power struggle. If you are an influencer and you are an influential person to any degree of a large following or not, you are responsible not to do that. Just like celebrities, they are also responsible not to be contacting people who are not celebrities. You know, like, I'm not saying you can't have any contact with your fans, but you have to be realistic about what you are doing. And someone like James Charles, who is clearly, as he stated in his own statement, is quite fucking desperate, should know better than to talk to little kids on social media when their ages are in their bios, they're hanging out with all the other people who are around the age of 13 to 15. You know. Because he was underage when he started making content on YouTube. So he knows. He knows. So, there's no excuse.
Like, the idea is, like, we should be holding them more accountable, or, like...
Absolutely. In situations like that.
That's where, like, a YouTube specifically... YouTube's all right fucked up because they have all this shit about, like, community guidelines, and they ain't nobody actually reviewing the content appropriately. But it's like those parasocial relationships that we discussed about with the gamers and the fucking fucked up. Every gaming company has some pervert story coming out every 2 months now, right?
Makes me sad.
So it's like that. It's this weird power dynamic that develops, and,
right?
Like, I don't know how you begin to address that, because, like you said, James Charles started underage. Like, a lot of these the man who shall not be named, who's trying to make a comeback. What was that kid that he tutored? Not Bo Burnham, but he had that fucking kid who went on a fucking tailspin afterwards, right? That little blonde kid.
Yeah, I told you guys about that guy. Yeah, he, like, brought him on to the show and then, like, completely ruined his entire career. Right, yeah, so exactly.
That little blonde kid, right? I watched a whole thing on him afterwards, right? Like, he started trying to make it on YouTube, and I watched this about Ninja as well. They both started at, like, 12, right? So they grew up as streamers. Like, they're 20, and all they know is their chat, right? So, like, how do you teach that guy that only knows his chat, that's always fucking teaching him, telling him he's a god? How do you teach them, like, hey man, this is like, with great power comes great responsibility, you know?
Right, but I think at some point in time you grow up. Like, because as I think about this, like, I've been on the internet since I was a very young person. And I have had, you know, I'm not going to say, like, I'm internet famous, because I'm definitely not, but I've been in positions where I've had, like, you know, an extremely micro platform where I've had contact with, I guess, like, people who followed me or were interested in me. And I've never been like, oh, let me, you know, let that go to my head, because at some point in time you grow up and you realize that that's not the real world.
But that's, I think, all three of us in varying degrees, right? This isn't like a hard times thing. All three of us have experienced, like, real life in varying ways, right? Like, these kids, they don't go through anything to make them grow up. And James Charles has only been filming makeup tutorials his whole life in fucking Jeffree Star. You know what I'm saying?
Like, look at Jake Paul, for example. Like, he didn't have that opportunity to grow up, and now he's acting out in his mid-20s and stuff. So like I feel like YouTubers have missed that point of growing up, where they miss the consequences. If they miss the age.
Which, like, I can hear you.
Can I sidetrack on a get rich quick scheme? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a new YouTube channel for YouTube Kids, and we're gonna create the how-to guide here. We're gonna how to teach your kid humility as a YouTuber, and we gotta sell that shit as a course for parents to buy for their kids.
I'm down.
Bam, millions of dollars. Clip that, steal it, done.
Don't clip our idea unless you're gonna pay us.
Exactly.
No, sorry. But go ahead, Mom. I had to get that out.
Right, which this is something that I've been thinking about recently too, because I don't know if you've ever heard about the YouTube creator Eugenia Cooney.
Yep.
No,
okay, so she
would make like so many videos on.
I'll give you some information about her.
That helped.
Yeah. I'll give you some information about her, but she suffers from anorexia, and she's got like her content. There's a whole controversy around the type of content that she's producing right now. She recently released a video, which was just the whole video was super gross. I'll show you guys afterwards. I don't think it's appropriate for this, but it was just gross. And the problem is that people look at her because she's so little, right? Because of her disorder, she's so tiny. People look at her and they associate her as a child because she wears like pink clothes and like little dresses, and she does act extremely like feminine in a childlike way. And she also presents herself mentally childlike in the way that she talks and the way that she acts. But she's also almost 30 years old. So what? Right, so when are we going to start looking at her as an adult and stop giving her this, oh, she's a young girl pass? When are we going to stop doing that? She's 27. She's 27, Raza.
She's not, oh, well, okay.
That's almost 30. 27 is almost 30.
Mind. Yeah, you're right. She doesn't look anything like that, too. So, like, so weird.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just that my brain. There's a million tangents, and I'm trying to keep the tangent on point. So like, would you say like their influence of like immaturity, right? Like this kid example, Onision even is a good one. Is like, is James Charles? Are they putting that into their audience? Like, are they making their audience feel like that's acceptable?
They're teaching. For them? They are teaching their audience that you can get away with things based on your behavior. Like, and this is a thing, like, and I hate this because it makes me so upset because it's not true. But specific female creators use this like ditzy attitude, and it irritates me so much because women are not ditzy. We are not stupid. We do not need to present that way in order to be appreciated by men or women. Like, there is no reason for that. But there's certain creators that are able to do that, and I really don't think that is fair or that is right of them to. And it's at this point, it's like, who do you, because it's always the conversation we always end up having when we do these shows. It's like, who do we hold accountable? At what point in time, who's the person we go, okay, you're responsible for why this is this way?
Yeah,
right?
Like it's hard to do, because I feel like even now, like telling you, like I think it should be the onus should be on the platform and the content creator.
Correct.
I know that's like a hard thing to say because people will say, "Oh, it's the platform job to curate what goes on their site," and the other people say, "No, it's a content creator's job to say to tell the audience what is good and what is not." So
well, and this is another thing too. Is like, I think that when you are someone like YouTube, right? Because YouTube is no longer just an internet platform. YouTube is a business. It's basically like they're the contractor that hires the smaller people to work for them. So I guess they're not contractor, sorry. They're the corporation that hires the contractors, basically, right? That's what's going on here. Yeah. And when contractors are hired by a corporation, who's responsible for the contractors? The corporation. And so at some point in time, YouTube has to start having these conversations with their contractors and being like, hey, this is what we're expecting of you guys. This is what you're doing, because YouTube is losing money on a regular basis, and that's why they keep changing their terms of service. But I think there's also this very common trend is nobody actually ever reads the terms of services that are provided to them. Nobody ever does. Like, I can honestly say I've never taken the time to like completely read through a terms of service until something blows up on the internet and I'm like, oh shit, I should probably like look into that stuff. And I think YouTube needs to do a better job of that.
Well, they need to do a better job communicating with their community as a whole. Like, Twitch does a great job
Right.
of actually directly communicating with and to their creators, right?
It's because Twitch has
you
yelled
gotta,
at.
you gotta literally have
They do a better job, Raza, than I think most platforms.
I'm saying they have, like, they do a better job now, but like prior, they were
It was horrible.
just like YouTube. They had to be pressured to doing a good job and stuff. But yeah, sorry.
So like, because the issue is once you pick favoritism, you're right, Wine Mom. Like that's how YouTube was originally set up when they had those multi-channel networks and all that shit. It was because YouTube was more responsible for your content once they were actually like paying you for the shit, and then they switched it to the CPM revenue base. They plugged in Google AdSense once Google bought the bitch, right?
Yeah.
And then fucking pony up, because we ain't responsible no more. It's just the fucking algorithm playing ads now, right?
Yeah.
And they absolve themselves of that responsibility. It's honestly a larger that's the huge
Facebook
political conversation going on right now with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. It has to be like at a federal level installed. Like you're responsible. Like these guys are spreading misinformation on your platform, so you need to actively stop them. Like my last round. Once again, the last part. The fun fact is that Facebook has one content moderation team for all of Africa.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But that's the issue though, Raza, because it's like they build these platforms and then they don't care.
Oh no, 100%. Like what I was gonna say, there's a reason why Mark Zuckerberg was at Congress every day of 2020. It's because the platform wasn't policing itself properly to what it was telling the public, because they found out that pro Trumpito news was going on the platform, which was not accurate, and it was still going on there, and it was getting hits and hits and hits. When like Mark Zuckerberg said, we will have fact checkers in place for everything, right? But how can that work when everything is going by the fact checking? So like all this all this biased news isn't being checked. All this like misinformation isn't being like verified. So like Mark Zuckerberg says it's on the in terms of service, he said himself, it's on the company's onus to see what is good and what's not. Australia, for example, is having a big deal with this right now. They won the first case against Facebook for antitrust. And it sets a precedent now, because now the rest of the world will follow suit. Is because Facebook doesn't look at one top. It doesn't look at the whole topic, or sorry, it doesn't look at things in the topic. It looks at the whole damn thing, right? So if it sees like in Australia's case, if it sees fake news in Australia, it'll take Australia's whole network down, or whole like side of it down, because it can't differentiate what is real and what's not. The AI in Facebook's world is broken, is 100% broken.
Yeah.
Let alone, have you read the articles about like the content moderation teams at Facebook, and how it's like severe depression and PTSD, because they're forced to. It's like not a filtered process. Like if you're a content mod for Facebook, you sit there for 12 hours and just watch reported shit. So it could be anything from like some wild cat video that someone was just upset with to like someone getting murdered. Like
yeah.
You don't know what you're walking in and you're gonna see that day, and all you do is sit there and watch reported shit. So it's like,
it's like
that's it. It's the fucking scary large conversation of like, you gotta go to the Jeff Bezos and say it's not okay for them to piss in water bottles, you know? Like you have to tell Mark, like, you gotta do this, but you also have to provide fair labor as you complete this process, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Because you're only going to perpetuate another sickness if you're like, yeah, here's your new regulation. Then he's just gonna find another way to skirt it.
Well, I think also the problem is a lot of these people take these jobs not knowing that like that's the job that they're doing is another thing on top of it, because businesses are very good at selling you something that they're not actually going to give to you, and they give you more work than they say they are. But no, I think it's just, you think about how the internet has progressed so much as a kid. Like, I know I've talked to you guys about this before, and I remember being in my elementary school library looking up those super graphic, trendy videos that everyone was talking about. Like, in my computer lab, like on Google, we would, as a class, like when the teacher left, we would all look it up on Google and watch it together. It was so easy to obtain this content. But now, it's not easy to do, you know? Like, it takes a lot of work to find these things, but things are still slipping through the cracks on places like YouTube.
Sorry,
and especially
go.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's
on Twitter.
It was that, and then it reminded me that when I used to go through the library and I would put all of the computer browsers on meatspin.com and then turn off the fucking monitors and walk out of the library.
Well, I did that too. I
would do it constantly, like all the time.
Dude, remember the pen, like near my house?
Yeah.
The Penn Mall. I went to the source one year, and me and my friend went on all the tablets and put Pornhub on.
But it was but that was something that there was no such thing as parental locks back then. You know, the kind of shit that we got into is so dangerous. Like I know people my age who have suffered things that they probably shouldn't have suffered because they were a kid and they didn't know any better, and they got on the internet and spoke to an adult online when they shouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah,
I remember Moon Place, that weird chat room.
MySpace, any kind of like wild chats, like Club Penguin, like.
Yeah, I was on the YTV
Habbo
fucking
Hotel
chat room. Oh, Habbo Hotel, bro. When I was scabbing on Habbo, that shit would get wild. You could you could hire people to follow you around for various reasons. I did bodyguards, but other people want for different reasons.
I mean, like I used a website that was allowing like 12 and 13-year-olds to use it, but also like 40-year-olds to use it.
Oh my god.
and it was like a blog site where people could like change their profiles, and like they could edit like their own website, and then you could send messages, and you could join forums and group chats, and it's like the amount of inappropriate content that was going on those sites, like I can't even begin to express it to you, but it's like there was no policing of that stuff. Like the internet was just a wild time. It was like, go right ahead. Like you could find some pretty stuff online.
It was the Wild West, bro.
Funny.
Yeah.
You brought the PTSD of Facebook moderators, because that reminds me of the South Park episode where Butters has to he has to like go through all Cartman's tweets because he's getting hate mail, and like by the end of the episode, Butters has like severe depression because he's seen all of the hate and he deletes them all, so Cartman can see all the good comments and stuff.
Yeah, it's just the internet is it's a scary place. But I mean, the whole point of the conversation, right, is like, people need to be careful about what they put online. Specifically, Miss Gabby Hanna, she really needs to think about what she's doing and how it's going to affect not just herself in the long run, but also the people around her and people that choose to work with her in the future. And someone like James Charles needs to really consider the fact that what he did is what has perpetuated all of these, fakers coming out, because you opened Pandora's box and you started that. So,
And there's only one thing left in the box, Wine Mom. Hope. Hope for a better tomorrow.
Honestly. I mean, he made a video saying taking accountability. How about take some fucking accountability and just leave it at that. Don't sue people for reporting on stories that were fake because you made it possible for those things to happen.
So can we go to this other guy now that I dropped in the Discord chat?
Yeah, we can talk about that, but can we also make note that I can hear the gameplay?
Can I say his name?
Whose name?
I
gotta look.
Shane.
I gotta look. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, who cares?
Okay. So I like how he had like his posts like as if nothing happened.
Right.
Even that Ryan Haywood from Achievement Hunter, when he came back to Twitch, he acted as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
That's a common theme with people coming back. They act like nothing has happened. Please forget about that. My image is still good. Please love me. So that's the same thing I'm getting from Shane Dawson, where it's just like he has on camera said he has acknowledged it, but I don't think he hasn't like for himself has acknowledged it.
The reality is Shane Dawson is never going to learn anything about what he has done. He is never going to grow as a person, because every time something like this happens, it's always about how Shane has struggled to be popular on the platform, and he's kind of like a veteran of the platform, and he can't make money. And it's like, you have all these videos of all this really weird stuff that you've done, and you have yet to come out and say, hey, like, let me apologize for all this stuff. Instead, you come out and say, I have panic disorder and I'm depressed and I've gained a lot of weight and everybody is mean to me.
Feel sorry for me. Feel sorry.
So I'm not playing devil's advocate this time. I'm just like drawing the correlation of like
I'm
this like directly ties. Well, fuck off. It just directly ties to that. Like them. He grew up in that world, right? Like. I am not defending it because I think it's super fucked, but he's so blinded by the world that he's created, where it's just YouTube, and that's I just do what I do, and woe is me, I'm innocent, I'm just making silly jokes. Like that man is not able to actually like conceive that he's doing something fucked up.
I'll tell you why that's not true. I'll tell you why you're wrong. Because he has paraded himself as the doctor of YouTube. He has paraded himself around as the guy that you go to for a docu-series to get back your fan base, to garner sympathy, to show that you're a better new person. So it's like, he is fully aware of what his responsibilities are on that platform. And he has taken on the responsibility of trying to rehabilitate other people's careers when the man can't even look at his own career.
I saw one.
All right.
Yeah.
You win.
But you know what? No, I'm very happy that you brought that up, though, because that is very true. Because it's very easy to go, okay, well, Shane has literally been doing this for a very, very long time. But you can see where he made his flip into I'm an empath, which, like, let's just say right now, he is not an empath. To be an empath, you do not behave that way. You do not call people sociopaths, and you do not diagnose people when you don't know what it is. You don't do that. That's not what empaths do. But if you look at his history on YouTube, like, there's been many times where he's presented himself as this like good person, but he's not. Like, he had that whole TV or that documentary show, and everybody who worked on that stupid show with him have come out since then and been like, he was horrible. He worked with Drew, who was a really funny YouTuber whose career basically ended after he stopped talking to Shane because he got bullied. We also have Garrett Watts, who has moved on to doing stuff with Shane's old videographer, who no longer works with him, who also dated Gabby Hanna at one point in time. That poor guy has been through hell. And like... his name is Andrew, and they have left Shane. And there's a reason why these people do this, and it's because Shane chooses to align himself in places where he thinks money exists. And Shane has had a very unsuccessful YouTube career, and Jeffree Star knows how to make money. And so Shane has chosen to align himself with somebody who makes money, and he's going to use that as his crutch to get out of this. And he's when he does finally come back to YouTube, he's not going to come with his tail between his legs. He is going to behave like Jeffree Star. So just be prepared for that.
Ask Wyman a question. What's your thing on Jeffree Star? Do you like him?
That's hard.
I don't like Jeffree.
How long have you been aware of him, Raza? Because you're in alt rock, so that's how I've been aware of him since back the stupid Vans Warped Tour days.
Yeah, same here. So because I don't like him because first of all he's hella racist against my people.
That's what I knew about him from back then. Sorry,
he's hella racist. Drops the N-word like he's drinking water, like he's breathing air. Completely like I've been reading up on him. He has some skeletons in the closet regarding sexual assault.
He has many, Raza, many.
I just want to not completely just trigger warning out the door, stuff like that. But like he's a very problematic person. I have friends that buy his makeup, and I've told them you shouldn't be supporting somebody who said all this. I understand you like his stuff, but the person behind this product is a very toxic human being. Yeah. So that's where I stand.
So when Shane did his series, so this is the thing. This really frustrates me. So when Shane did his first like docu-series, when he decided to finally come back like full force to YouTube, he did it on a content creator called Graveyard Girl, which if you guys don't know of her, you should know of her. She is great. She's a great content creator. I watched her when I was very young and she was not very popular and a lot of people didn't understand her content. She's good. I really enjoy her. And so I got roped into the whole series because I was like, this is really cool. I really like Graveyard Girl. She's a unique creator. I'm happy to see her like be able to recharge her platform and, come back to the forefront of YouTube. Great. I'm so on board with this. And then he did Eugenia Cooney. And I was like, why are we doing this? And then, right. And then he did Jake Paul. And I was like, really, why are we doing this? And the whole Jake Paul thing was all around the psychopathy and the mental health and all that stuff.
And that fake ass therapist he hired to lie about the definition of a psychopath.
Jeez. Right, and so
really, holy shit.
Oh, dive into that. That's
she
the whole
thing. She didn't have. He used this supposed doctor as the whole
YouTube doctor is what she is. She's a YouTube creator.
She's a YouTube creator who says that she's a doctor, and that was the whole basis of this Jake video. Is like, oh, here's what a psychopath is. It's like the whole core of your essay is effed, and then you're also marketing BetterHelp, which is like uncertified professionals giving mental health advice. Like, get out of here. Sorry, I'm so mad.
No, it's okay. It's the truth though, because he started on the right foot, right? Because he picked the perfect creator to start this with. Like, Graveyard Girl is genuinely such a sweet creator. Like, her and her boyfriend have been together since they were in high school. They have the cutest little relationship. Like, he picked a great creator to start doing that with. And then as soon as he was done with her, he just started throwing everybody, like just going after whoever he thought would work best. And then he knew that there was all this hype around Jeffree. And the reason why there's any, like, this is one thing people need to understand. The reason why there is hype around Jeffree Star is because of his relationship with Kat Von D. That is the only reason why he became super popular in the last few years. Because he went after Kat when he started his makeup line, because Kat went after him because he was like, oh, you should hook me up with your connects. And Kat was like, no, because I don't support you because you are mean and vicious and racist and I'm not helping you.
Too,
right. And so that whole big, because, you guys may remember him from his scene days when he was doing music. Of course, that's when a lot of people remember him from, right? But the reality is a lot of people who know him now know him because of the makeup drama with Kat Von D.
No one even knows he did all that shit.
Right. And so then Shane took it upon himself to rehabilitate Jeffree Star's career.
Yeah.
That's what he did. And it's like, at the end of the day, Jeffree Star, I don't know what it is about him, but he can bounce back. There's not a problem. He doesn't need anybody's help. He's able to bounce back. But Shane saw that as an opportunity to get himself attention again, and that's why he went through everything with Shane. And people who are in Jeffrey's camp tend to be able to bounce back because Jeffrey just has a way of like manipulating things. I don't know why or how.
Oh, it's the Trump style. You just keep fucking hitting the pavement and they'll forget about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think like we should have stopped him when he did all that stuff with Jake Paul. Because this is the thing. Jake Paul sucks. I agree. Okay? But what Shane did to Jake Paul was very wrong. The way that whole documentary went, because I've watched all of these, and the way that whole documentary went was very wrong. Like, it wasn't about helping him. It wasn't about teaching him. It wasn't about getting him to a better place to rehabilitate his platform. It was about, look how fucking chaotic this guy is. He's a fucking sociopath. Nobody can help him. His poor girlfriend's like trying her hardest and it's just a mess. There's no real assistance to rehabilitate him, and instead gave him new popularity with new followers. And now he's just doing more fucked up shit and continuing.
And again, like full fucking circle, right? It's like
definitely
they are like desensitizing the importance of that term and the aspect. It's like, oh, I can just make a fucking video like maybe this dude's a psychopath and that's what great content. Like, no, get the fuck out of here. Like,
I think and I think the next person he's gonna go to is probably Gabby Hanna. I really believe that that's where he's gonna go next because he's worked with her before. And I can see him going in that way because she's got all this hype around her right now. And I mean, like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he doesn't do that because I don't really want that, but I wouldn't put it past him.
He's too slow. His videos take too long to make.
And it, like, to Bailey's point, it goes back to my initial point where they say, like, this stuff, like we will talk about it from a uneducated angle, and therefore the importance of the issue is now gone because we have somehow made it a joke.
Well, I think the reality is that content consumers like to watch train wrecks. That's just what it's become now.
Yeah. But that's what it's always been. When I think about reality TV, think about Love and Hip Hop, think about fucking the real life, all that bullshit, you know?
I agree with you, but I think at those shows were seen as like what your mom watches. YouTubers online, oh, definitely. I didn't watch that shit growing up. I didn't care about it. It was stuff that my mom watched.
You didn't watch any of the MTV ones?
Nope.
You didn't watch any reality TV? No reality
I mean,
TV.
I watched Jersey Shore. Yeah, but I mean, like, but even still, like, I was too young for Jersey Shore when it came out. My mom watched it. I watched parts of it, right? I didn't watch the full thing. Like, that's what it was. I didn't watch the full thing, Bailey. I did not.
What do you mean? I had watch parties with the friends and everything.
Nope.
You had watch parties of Jersey Shore?
Maybe Bailey is a middle-aged mom.
Bailey was in his miscreant time, so I would purposely get as messed
Bailey
up
had
as
his
midlife
crisis. Bailey already had his midlife crisis at the age of 12, so he's like old.
I just think but I think the thing is, when reality TV shows were out when we were younger, like it was just different than what it is now. Because now it's like 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, watching YouTubers have full-on mental breakdowns online,
and it's real.
The only reason I make the comparison is because it still holds it in such a like jokey manner. Like it's still they both have a lack of accountability for the messaging within it.
Well, and I think also with reality TV shows, like I think we all knew that it was orchestrated. Like we all know this. Even with like the show Catfish, everyone's like, we all know that's fake. And I don't know if I believe that Catfish is fake or not fake, but that's whatever. It's been seen that way. Same with Teen Mom. People think that thing is all orchestrated. Mm-hmm. And like those like TLC shows with like Leaving Amish or My Strange Addictions. Like people think all those things, which are a form of a reality show, they think that those are all orchestrated content. But with YouTubers, you're inclined to believe that it's a genuine mental breakdown. Just like when Kanye was going on Twitter and saying that he was God, for us, that's genuine mental breakdown because we know that that's Kanye West tweeting his own tweets.
Fuck, bro. You ever seen that video of Kanye when he went on stage for the presidential election this year and started crying about his
and he talked about his daughter? Yes.
Yeah,
he's like, I need to win this.
hard.
Come on. Yeah, it was really hard to watch.
It was like, oh,
It's
this
just-
isn't
it
even funny.
sucks.
This is sad.
No.
Like,
But I think with celebrities and with YouTubers though, is I think there's a lot more sensitivity. I think when it comes to celebrities, like I've seen a lot more sensitivity around Kanye West. Where with Gabby Hanna, like, you know, there's just, it's nothing but people just ragging on her and talking horribly about her.
because
But I think-
what is, because a character like Kanye West, when you say about like accountability, I'm not justifying Kanye's new positions and shit because fucking
He's
mega,
going to
but,
watch.
but at least he contributed something at some point. I'm not about to get into what did Kanye do or not debate.
Oh no,
Like,
I
at least
agree.
he gave
100%.
something. And Gabby Hanna just made TikTok and not
But
just
this
made
is-
YouTube videos and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so what I was going to say to follow that is that the difference between them is that Kanye has a team that's kind of somewhat watching what he's doing. And they're like, okay, you can't post that. Like, you're part of the Kardashian family. Like, you got to chill it out a little bit, bro. But with someone like Gabby Hanna, like, she can just go to her computer and upload to her millions of followers without having to go through a buffer. There is no buffer. There is no take my time to think about this. There is no team beside her doing this. Like, it's her friends watching her literally just self-destruct.
Let me have a Twitter thread mental breakdown, and then let's get those likes and retweets up, and then the engagement
Right.
will come, and then I will be number one because she was number one trending when she first got her first time on my TL. I saw her being ratioed and stuff. So then,
Right.
it was the first time I saw it, and then she was number one trending. She sees that, and she's like, dollar bills, yo.
It sucks. It sucks because, you know, like, as a woman, right? I don't want to see another woman go through this and create, you know, a platform of this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reality is like, there's other things that I have not mentioned in this because I don't think that it's fair to the person who suffered with Gabby should have to relive this. But there are things that she has done in the past that is extremely distasteful, and I just want her just to stop. Like, not even just because I feel bad for her at this point, but because, you know, you don't add anything positive to the conversation. Everything is about self-pity and woe is me and all the things that have happened to you, but you never stop to think about all the things that you have done to the people around you, including some of your closest friends. And that's the reality with her now, is it just needs to stop. It's enough.
Like, again, like her friends, like, no, sorry, to your point of saying, you know, you hate seeing this happen to another woman.
Yeah.
That thing you sent me of a Twitch moderator who identifies as a deer and stuff, that comes to mind because then she's giving a whole bad rap to everybody else. Not just women, but to other people who deal with the same.
The whole
issue
community.
the community, yes,
Yeah.
and stuff. So and she hides, and she could potentially hide behind that. She like, oh, I'm a woman with severe issues. You can't say that stuff to me. When in reality, she's just making her issues not about women and not about the issue, but about Gabby. About her.
And also the fact that she has a podcast where she talks about motivational and mental health and all that other stuff, and it's like, you can't even take control of what's going on in your own camp, sweetheart. Please do not
preach. Yeah.
Right. Please do not come out here and tell young people how to handle their mental health when you can't even handle your own.
100%. I agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
Which is why I don't peddle myself as a mental health person, because I don't even know how to control my own. I do my best. But, like, I'm by no means like an expert, but I would, you know, she's got to look at what she's doing and think about how she's, you know,
it's super weird.
Gabby.
for me to talk about my stuff because my friends aren't really like, I don't want to sound like a dick to them, but they're not really fully on. They don't understand the stuff that I do. They probably have issues on their own that I don't know, but because I've been more
it's taboo. That's why
vocal about it, yeah, and stuff. So like they're like even talking to you guys about these things, I'm sort of like having a hard time because there's like even Bailey can attest to this because I have talked about my issues the way I talk about them, but then when I express it to somebody who has dealt with them, I have been told that I don't like, I'm using it differently. Like it's I'm sort of like it's like not like, to me, how can I explain this? Like my wording isn't right, and I'm thinking
it can be offensive, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it can be offensive. Like okay, but like I don't know how to talk about this properly
right.
because I haven't spoken to people within people who have the same problem as I do. And like now slowly I've been accustomed to it, and now people are now telling me
exactly,
or like opening up to me. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's just these YouTubers.
That humility you carry. That's the part that's like damn near impossible to teach someone.
Right.
Because that's what makes you stand apart. You're willing to humble yourself and say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry. I want to learn." Right? That fucking Gabby Hanna would say, "Well, fuck you."
Fuck you. Right. Yeah, I'm right. You're wrong.
Well, exactly. And this is and the thing is with her is that she spends a lot of time on her computer and on her phone, reading and listening and watching all these things that people are talking about and saying about her. And then she gets on her phone and she goes, "I'm so happy. I don't care about my bad reputation.
Yeah.
I'm going to sing this song and I'm going to dance." But I mean, like, if for some reason Gabby Hanna should ever see this, Gabby, please stop, take a minute, breathe, talk to somebody, and like really genuinely get yourself like some help, and like stop posting everything online because it's just not the place to do that. Like that's not where you heal. That's not how you get better. That's not how you feel good. Like
100%.
No.
Yeah, well, like people don't need to, like, especially online on twitter.com, people don't need to see your mental breakdown. That's not healthy in my opinion. You don't go on Twitter and talk about this stuff unless you trust the person and they like have an understanding of who you are. But if you explain your mental illness to however many followers she has, at least 80% of that will not pick that up. The 20% will probably see it and see that she has issues. The other 80% will be like, "Yes, queen, keep on being the problematic queen that you are," or some shit.
Well,
right?
And this is the problem now, is she's starting to dig herself a deeper hole that I don't think she's going to be able to get out of if she doesn't calm down. Because people are digging up things from her past that she has never apologized for, and she knows exactly what it is, and she needs to hold herself accountable for what she did to this person, and she's not going to do that. So instead, she's going to play victim because it's easier to be the victim than it is to take accountability and apologize.
I'm glad because for Bailey's sake, I am compared to for Marching to Madness, I am the toxic one, okay? Because I'm on Twitter, but for like it's different because like I think about this all the time now because like now I have a YouTube career going on. I have stuff like people know me, but I see my Twitter stuff. Right? I see people within like our community agreeing with me on the stuff I say because I'm very quote unquote, I hate using this word, but I quote unquote woke on Twitter because like I attack everybody on like people, like I attack people on the other side of my spectrum, right? On the political spectrum. So, and that's a very big umbrella. But I've gone through my timeline and I've seen they can't really cancel me for much. If the only thing they'll cancel me for is the the Middle East stuff. But other
Well, but I think the whole point of
that.
is like knowing is like not letting yourself obtain a god complex.
Yeah,
That's the big issue, right?
Ship has
Don't
sailed.
right.
Because then then you refer back to like the best apology I've ever seen was fucking Dan Harmon's, right? If you're a humble person, basically it was one of his female writers said that he was like
Community.
I
forgot about
her
that.
and objectified her and all this shit, and he came out with like this whole big statement of like,
I get you.
I was depressed, I was fucked, it was wrong. And I totally did that, and I did that because I was in a terrible spot with my wife, and I was an immature man, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I have been going to therapy for this, and do continue to. And I've already directly apologized to this human prior to posting this, and blah, 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 blah. It was like, I don't forgive myself, I don't ask for forgiveness, I'm just acknowledging that was fucked, and I am doing the work.
Well, I mean, and that's what's important, right? Because otherwise we're gonna have a bunch of Chris D'Elias who come out and say, "I like being a dad," and that's his form of fucking apology.
Oh my god! On my Google homepage thing, I was like, when I woke up today.
Are you being promoted his content? Because
I don't know why I'm being like, I clicked the 3 dots to
fuck
say
the internet, bro. Fuck the internet.
Like,
so dumb. There are way funnier people than him.
Our shorts 100%. From talking about him like get recommended on his videos.
Good.
God.
You're that guy.
Yes, my mom.
I think the thing that upsets me the most.
Oh, bro, because I clickbaited that title so bad. It's Chris D'Elia has a quote you should remember.
But see, like, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that I think is like the most important about this is that like. I know that I am just a person, okay? Right. You guys are just people. We're all just people. But I know that if Bailey or Raza were doing some fucked up things that I didn't agree with, I'm open to have a conversation with you guys and talk about it. And when you look at these social media stars, is they are not willing to sit down and have a conversation about it. And the reality is like anything that I have ever said about anyone on any podcast ever, I am more than willing to hear them out. I'm more than willing to have that conversation. You want to call me up and say, this is why I did this? Okay, let's talk about it. Because maybe you don't have all the perspective yet. Maybe hearing somebody with a different perspective might help you, you know? And I'm not afraid to help you with that perspective, my friends. Okay?
Hashtag wine mom calls out the world.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? I think but the thing is like the most important thing I think about it is like anytime I've ever confronted anyone in my life, I've always been like, look, my shit stinks, bro. I get it. But also, your shit stinks, okay? And the first step to getting past your stinky shit is at least being able to admit where you're wrong and then look to making yourself better, looking to move forward, taking ownership. That's where it starts, okay? Let's do that.
I'm just so happy I got this ring light. Sorry, it's just fucking making me so happy. No, but it's to what Wine Mom said. Like, these content creators have a god complex, and what do god complexes hate the most? Being told they're wrong. So good luck talking to or getting through somebody.
Exactly.
To be like, oh, you're wrong. I'm not wrong. You just misunderstood me. And then they'll go on a rant and tell you how much like.
Well, I think that these big content creators don't give their audiences enough credit. Like, if you sat down in front of your audience and you were like, hey guys, I know that I have been on this tyrant for the last month, but I want to come clean and say, I don't necessarily believe that I was doing the right thing or I was taking the right path in doing so. I think majority of your followers and the majority of the people that are watching your content are going to say, you know what, man? Thanks. Let's learn together and move forward. Because I have seen shittier creators who do not deserve a second chance get second chances by doing exactly that. So start doing that.
I do think I may be attacked on this, not by y'all, but by a certain community. But like even for Funhouse, like for that Adam guy, like I think that like he he doing what he did was pretty bad, right? But it's like to the point where like at least he can come back to something. Maybe it's not this. It won't be as big, but like he's the type of guy like Dan Harmon, as Bailey mentioned, that has acknowledged what he has done, completely takes it on responsible for himself. Didn't point his apology letter. 100% took the blame onto him. So like and then the Funhouse community accepted that. They're like, we understand that. You like, please get some help, and we hope to see you in the future. People like that who have done well, not on Funhouse, but like doing his own thing, right? But like people like that who like, and he hasn't come back since. So he may have left the industry altogether, but people like that who have taken it upon themselves, who have internalized the issue, who have processed it, who have thought about it, who have spent a year or more off the internet, who have just done some soul searching, who has done some self-reflection, who has read a book, who has like exercised, who has just given their whole world, like who has put themselves on pause just to look at themselves. I think those people deserve a second chance because they have truly put themselves on pause just to make themselves more accountable and just to make themselves like to, as Bailey says, to show themselves humility and stuff. Because if you didn't, you would come back like Chris D'Elia did in like 6 months.
Well, because that's the thing. Like, forgiveness is possible. It can happen for you, but you need to actually want genuine forgiveness. You need to not think, oh, I have to come back because I can't afford my $1 million home. That's not why we want you to come back. We want you to come back and apologize because you set an example for the people around you. You know, and like, it sucks to say this, but that's why Logan Paul was able to come back. Because he said, I'm a fucking idiot and I fucking really messed up. And he took the ownership, you know, and I still don't particularly fancy him or intake any of his content. I don't think he's great. But he's been able to bounce back to some degree because he actually looked at himself objectively and made whatever form of apology he felt was necessary. And it's like, it's pretty embarrassing that, like, that guy can do it, but there's a lot of other people that can't do it.
Right.
You don't like Impulsive? You don't watch Impulsive with Jake Paul? And Logan Paul?
No.
Logan Paul isn't impulsive anymore, though.
No, that's the name of his podcast title.
I like.
Oh, true. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm a.
Wasn't he all about that whole Maverick bullshit for a while and the flatter
stuff? That was all that Team 10 shit. That's Team 10
Team
bullshit.
10. I remember Team 10.
I was just watching a whole bunch of shit on MLMs, and I didn't know it was so intertwined with like YouTubers and
such
shit.
A mess.
But that's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah.
I also, like, on that topic, like, I've been daydreaming about that a lot because it's like, I think a lot of these content creators from the get-go should have a bit more responsibility, like, moderating their community, right? Like, I was trying to think, like, as we start having actual peoples here, like, we gotta set a tone of, like, friendship and kindness and, like, how the fuck do you do that on the internet, you know? Like, how do you be
right.
It's because it's so easy to be an asshole. Ask me, right? Because
well, that's why when we have these conversations, right? That's why I always, in some degree, I say, like, you can come back. And, like, anytime I complain about someone or I say something mean about a content creator of some kind, like, I'm genuinely saying it from, like, the kindest spot in my heart. Like, because somebody has to tell you. Right? And it's like, I have said this before on previous podcasts that I've worked on or other sort of media content or just anything ever. I am always willing to hear somebody out. If you want to come and have a conversation with me, my DMs are open. No problem. Let's talk about it. But, like, don't come to me with the same bullshit that you're putting out everywhere else. That's the thing for me. It's like, I'm willing to accept your apology. I have accepted apologies from shitty people in my life before. I'm willing to hear you out, right? And I think to Bailey's point about giving friendship, that's my friendship to you. Is that if you think that we have discussed you unfairly and you want to have that conversation, hit me up. Like,
well,
let's talk about it.
At the end of the day, me and Raza are journalists, so like we kind of do get what you're saying. That you have to listen to people unbiasedly to get the truth of the story. But like even yourself, Wine Mom, you get there's certain people that you just ain't having it, right? Like,
yeah, so, of course.
Where's the fucking line of the unbiased talk? Like, where's the line of which asshole is too much of an asshole?
I mean, honestly, I'm willing to hear anyone out. Genuinely, like, so, I may feel how I feel.
What if Donald Trump tomorrow was like, Wine Mom, like, I want to have a talk.
See, I hear what you're saying, and you're taking it to an extreme. Nobody wants to hear that guy out. There's a reason why he's banned on all platforms. But I hear what you're saying. Your point, right? I get your point. Like, if for some reason, like anybody we've talked about on this show today, Shane Dawson, Gabby Hanna, like, if for some reason I pissed them off enough and they decided they wanted to have a conversation, sure, tell me your side of the story. I'm willing to listen.
Hit up Wine Mom, not Marching the Madness.
Hit up Wine Mom.
Hit up Wine Mom, please.
We don't want the smoke.
No, I just think, like, because I just think of it like on a person-to-person level. Because there's been tons of times, like, there's people in my life who I've been really good friends with, and we've gotten into an argument. We haven't talked for a really long time. But any of those people, they know that we're going to fight for like a year or so, but you know that you can reach out to me at any time, and I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm going to hear you out.
Right.
Because I think that's the only way to be. Because if it was me, and I maybe had a year's worth of reflection, and I was like, ooh, maybe I made the mistake in this friendship, and I should apologize, I'm going to do that. Like, me, on a human level, as an adult, as somebody who's like learning how to live and grow and be an adult, I'm going to apologize for my mistakes when I realize I've made a mistake. So I think it's only fair to hear people out.
See, I'm not like that.
Well, you better learn, Raza.
I haven't spoken to my old best friend, and I had a fight in 2015, and I haven't spoken to him since. So that's where my mom even tells me this. Like, I harbor on to hate. Like,
me too, though, Raza. I'm the same.
But like, I hold not like anything, but like it has to like really hurt.
Matter,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just reconnected with a friend who I've been friends with. I've been friends with this person since like before high school. Like, we've known each other for a very long time, and we had gotten into a stupid fight. And at the end of the day, I was right, and I know I was right, and I don't care what anybody says. I was 100% right in this argument, and I waited it out. I was like, in time, this person will have some sort of figure it out, or either I will figure it out, or whatever it may be, and we'll reconnect. Sure enough, we reconnected, and we figured it out. But it's like, I'm always willing to let someone come back.
See, if I were you, and knowing that you're right, and if you reconnect, I would make sure the other person know that I'm right. Because yes, I'm that petty. I'm that petty. Like, if we have an argument, I will come back a week later, haven't moved on, and be like, by the way, guys, and then make you feel really bad about yourself.
Trust me, Raza, I am the queen of silent treatment. We could see each other every single day, and I will speak no words to you. You will know you were wrong. I've done it before. Don't worry. I know.
It's really weird when two headstrong people are friends. Because then it's just like, God, like, it's like you're an immovable object, and I am the unsolvable force and stuff. And
I think I'm softer though than you, Raza. So I could probably help you learn the path of forgiveness.
No, we take no prisoners, Wine Mom. We take their lives. We first prove them wrong, and then we kill them.
My goodness.
Because I think that's a good note to end it on. I think that was a good little...
To kill somebody if they're proven wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. That's good, valuable knowledge for the kids, and we're being responsible content creators by delivering that message.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, please, if you're going to have a discussion with somebody, have a healthy one, look into it, and then you're allowed to hurl personal insults at them. Cross that. Provide facts, provide information, and then call out their moms, then call out how ugly that they are, then call out their personal problems or something, right? Because nothing hurts somebody as a personal attack.
All right.
Raza knows from experience. And that's our show for today, guys. Thank you for watching. The Same Shit, Different Day by Marching into Madness. If you watch live on Twitch, you can join in the conversation afterwards, which is what we're about to be doing. Right now, I want to say thank you to Wine Mom for being the best co-host ever, Raza for being the most mediocre co-host ever, and thank you to me for being a tech god.
Co-host.
Okay, so gnarly _media, catch it in the link, and we got Raza in the description.
The link too.
Yeah, and then Wine Mom too, down below. And thank you for watching.
Bailey's ADHD going flaring right now.
Yeah.
Next week on Monday. And I'm flipping screens. Straight.
Listen, it's good now. You guys bully me so much, like I don't know what I'm talking about.
What do you mean? I don't. I respect it.
Okay, so I think we need to go this area here.
Okay, just so you guys know, I'm really excited to watch this again. I've been anticipating.